Welcome. I am Collins Trott, Child Development Faculty on the Wallace Community College Dothan campus. In this episode, we are going to be learning about good beginnings with parents and children. Nothing is more exciting or nerve-wracking than a child's first day in a new school situation. Children face the challenge of leaving the security of parents and home in order to move into the company of a group of peers, new routines and activities, and a relationship with a new adult. Families experience ambivalence as they mark another milestone of development in their children's lives. Insecurities with regard to the decisions they have made about the school and the uncertainties of their own roles as they help their children move into the classroom. Teachers have the excitement of meeting new children and families and the challenges of making sure all the relationships get off on the right foot. With young children, understanding the normal separation process and being able to support parents and children as they undergo the experience is crucial for teachers as they begin to form trust and communication patterns that lay the foundation for meaningful relationships. This episode considers the initial steps to establish a partnership between home and school, as well as among parent, teacher, and child. So join me, Ms. Trott, as we learn all about good beginnings with parents and children. Some strategies may vary from school to school, but the principles for getting off to a good start are unchanging. First impressions can have lasting significance. Early attitudes and behavior patterns will determine later limitations on a relationship or what direction it will take. Because it is often difficult to change patterns of behavior once they have become habitual, it is important to involve teachers, parents, and children in a program of gradual orientation, information exchange, and increasing familiarity. Between the time when a parent first contacts a school and the time when their young children finally settle in is an important period for teachers to lay the foundation for successful family involvement. The first contact between families and school is generally initiated by parents in their search for an appropriate facility for their child's care. Usually represented by the director or principal, the school has the dual responsibility of encouraging families to make the most appropriate educational choice for their children and sharing information about the school's philosophies and practices so parents can see if this particular school matches their needs. In initial phone calls, interviews, or tours of the school, the focus should be on the family and what they want for their children. The first conversation between parents and teacher is best scheduled when parents can come without their child. Parents will be free to talk without concern for their child's response in a new situation, and a teacher can concentrate on helping parents become comfortable without their attention divided between adults and child. This first meeting has several purposes. One is to permit a parent to share about initial information about an entering child. As parents talk, teachers can gain an impression of the relationship between parent and child, how a child has reacted in other new situations, and how parents feel about enrolling their child in the program. Teachers can also use this opportunity to acquire family resource information so they can plan for involving families in the classroom. The first meeting also allows parents and teachers an early chance to get to know one another on a one-to-one basis. It is best if the first meeting between child and teacher can occur where their child is most comfortable, which is at home, through a home visit. Whenever a child has to get used to a new concept such as school and new adults caring for them, they can adjust when fortified by the security of familiar people and surroundings. This first visit, scheduled at a family's convenience, may be brief, like 15 minutes, but the child will have a chance to briefly socialize and observe his parents doing so. Children's feelings of security are enhanced by seeing that the parents and teachers are forming a relationship. Parents are also reassured by watching a teacher's sensitive approach when children are timid. The brief visit also offers a teacher a glimpse of the parent-child relationship and a child's home learning environment. A teacher can arrange a time for a parent and child to visit the classroom for the first time. It's best if the child can visit briefly before coming to the classroom to stay. This visit also will be brief, a chance for a child to see and become interested in a new environment. It is sometimes overwhelming for a young child to enter a classroom full of other children busy with activities. Ideally, the parent stays during this classroom visit, which offers the child a secure base from which to move and sharing pleasures and new discoveries. Parental concern may be alleviated by observing the teacher and child interact and seeing how the classroom functions. This visit gives the parents specifics to discuss at home to continue to prepare the child for this new experience. The groundwork is laid for a child's entry into the classroom. Teachers and parents need to remind themselves how much there is for a child to become accustomed to a new school experience. The hows of interacting with large groups of children, the new rules and practices of a classroom, leaving parents and becoming comfortable with other adults. Because these adjustments can be exhausting for a child, it is helpful if his first days in a classroom are abbreviated as possible, allowing for the family's schedule. This can be done by using a half-day program at the beginning. Attention should also be paid to the new relationships and comfort that must be built when children move from one classroom to another within the same school. Often schools offer helpful initial orientations for children and families, but neglect to recognize that changes within the school should also be approached with sensitivity to the feelings involved in changing relationships. Often, children or adults resist a change, and the resistance comes precisely because time and thought have not gone into gradual transitions. Attention to everyone concerned will allow relationships and communication to flourish. The emotional responses to a new school experience may be heightened by the separation anxiety experienced by most children and parents. The mutual parent-child attachment development during the early years of a child's life mean that adults and children feel more secure in each other's presence. A removal from each other's presence causes concern and changes in behavior for both. Many children up to age 3 or so will cry and be sad when a parent leaves. Even older children may find the initial leaving difficult. These behaviors are considered usual for children experiencing separation, and the duration of the behaviors varies with each child. Although they require special considerations, the behaviors are not cause for alarm. When teachers work with young children who are having difficulties with separation, it is helpful to suggest that parents bring comfort objects from home. Parents establish a morning routine for departure, and the process of adjustment may take some time. Parents often have a difficult time with separation too. This is a time of ambivalent feelings: satisfaction that their child is more independent, fear of becoming displaced in their child's affections, and sadness at the changing status in the relationship. A teacher is in an important position to help parents and children deal with separation emotions and behaviors. The aim is for a teacher to remember that they are doing not just what works best, but also what best strengthens a child. Teachers' attentions need to be directed to parent and child because the way they treat the child affects the parents, and the way they treat the parents affect the child. Some basic strategies are to prepare parents for separation, welcome parents into the classroom, develop children's trust in parents, discuss separation experiences, and give special attention to parents and children. Prepare parents in advance to accept separation behaviors and emotions as normal. Parents are more open about their concerns if they realize that the teacher is not judging their child or themselves negatively for experiencing separation anxieties. Help parents feel welcome to stay in a classroom as long as it is helpful to a child. Some teachers have found it helpful to prepare a handout for some parents, suggesting some things they could do in the classroom during those first few days. Helping a parent create parting rituals may especially help those parents who linger and seem determined not to leave in any clear fashion. An important step in a child working through the separation process is to learn to trust that the parent will reliably leave and return. Teachers may need to help parents become aware of behaviors that can foster this sense of certainty. It is helpful to discuss and validate the emotional responses to separation openly with empathy. Such an approach frees child and parents to realize that their feelings are recognized and accepted and can continue to be communicated. Special attention to parents and children is warranted at this time. Teachers may choose special children's books about separation and new experiences to read to children or lend to parents for home use. All beginnings are important. The long-term effects of establishing parent-teacher relationships with clear patterns of empathetic communication, as well as a child's successful adaptation, justify taking these careful steps. Now let's review what we've learned. Ideally, good beginnings include a meeting with the school's administrator to consider what a parent is looking for in a preschool and how this matches the school's philosophy and practices. An introductory conversation between parents and an individual classroom teacher. Specific information about a child and classroom is exchanged. Further orientation plans are formed. And then a brief home visit so a teacher and a child can meet on a child-secure home base. A brief visit of parent and child to the classroom, specifically planned for this time where a teacher is free to interact with the child, using an easing in schedule so a child can slowly adjust to classroom life on a less than a full-time basis. And carefully planning transitions when children move from new classrooms within a school or within the community. It's important for teachers to recognize and help with separation issues by preparing parents to understand and recognize separation behaviors. Welcome parents to stay as long as it is helpful for children. Help children develop trust in parents and the situation. Discuss the feelings of separation and give special attention to both parents and children. That wraps us up for this episode. You can learn more about this topic by reviewing the resources posted in your course. As always, if you have any questions, please contact me or your instructor. Thanks for joining me, Miss Trott, as we learn all about good beginnings with parents and children. See you next time.